Welcome to another installment of the Soul Table. I'm one of your hosts, Evan, aka RBD. I'm here with
Ashley.
Do the hand thing again.
Oh, can we?
See, she be doing crip fingers, and I still mess it up. See, I can't do it.
Just we'll get
it doesn't bend.
One day.
And we have with us our usual people. Uncle Mike, where you at?
What's up, nieces and nephews?
Snooping in as usual. That's nice, man. That was pleasant. And our camera woman, Anaya, hey girl.
Ew.
Nana, I see you. And as you see, we have a special guest with us, Mr. Seth Fowler of Apthcry.
How's it going?
Apthcry, I'm sorry, I said that wrong.
You got it.
This is going to be fun. We are going to have so much fun. And she's doing dice hands. Talk about how are you feeling today, sir?
I'm good. I'm chilling.
You look good.
This is great.
You look good. The bright,
Excited
vibrant.
to have you.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Perfect.
Yeah, this is great. I'm excited.
Ashley, are you okay?
I'm good.
I'm
good.
Uncle Mike, how you feeling?
I feel wonderful.
Okay.
I'm a
Ashley,
little hungry. I ain't gonna lie. Sorry.
You hungry?
Hell yeah, I'm hungry.
We'll get a burger
Okay,
afterwards.
perfect.
All right. So, fit check. You want to do fit checks?
Y'all started off.
She starts it.
I'm wearing a Sonder tank.
Supposed to buy me a
These
shirt.
are really good. These are really good quality, by the way. Jeans are Urban Outfitters. I'm wearing my 95 Neons 2020. Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay. Uncle Mike got his mics on for another time in a row.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I gotta play Lotto. I'm gonna play Lotto.
So I got the Apthcry top. I got the Apthcry hoodie. I've got these pants from Target. So that was great. I really
have
like them.
those pants.
They're great.
I bought those pants. I haven't worn them yet, but I have those
They're
pants.
mad comfy and they're light.
They literally just came out, right?
They literally just came out. Yeah. I was in Target. I was like, yo, I gotta grab those. Actually, they're like $30, and I was like, this is great.
You know what's wild? I was looking at his pants. I was like, I'm scared to ask him.
No, yeah, no,
Pants
bro. I'm cheap when it comes to clothes. I should spend more, but like I get it all. I either get it from my brand or I buy it from Target.
As you should. Slight flex.
Is it?
Slight flex. Wear my own brand. That's a slight flex.
No, it definitely was a flex right there. And I started to go, he's like, hey, this man is over here power flexing on us right now. But that's cool. That's cool. Because I was like trying to find a way to figure out where you got these pants from. That's why I was like, you want to go first?
Target. Yeah, Target.
Cool. Going to Target, and I'm getting me some cargos. It's happening.
Let's go.
So I have on my 85 Jordans, my breads, that is.
I think he better than us.
You know what? Yes, I do. So that being said, ground up, got my Apthcry socks. He made them. He didn't give them to me, but I got them. And pants, I love ugly. Shirts is Vintage Kicks Gallery. We'll be talking about this a little bit later. And my hat is from. Where'd I get my hats from, Mike?
Hat Club?
Hat Club.
I'm gonna need you to tighten up.
No, it's not that I didn't remember. I just like when Mike say it because he's like Hat Club, and of course glasses. Time for it. That's it. That's all we
Look
wear.
at this baddie.
What? Don't be like that. Don't be like that.
Daddy.
I'm
Let's
trying
talk
to
for it.
assimilate myself. Did you say name all the stuff? So I do.
I'm proud of you.
Yes.
I'm proud.
So let's get it today. Let's start it off. Our sneaker brand's getting lazy. Like now you're like back in the day, we had the art of like storytelling. We had it for like Kobe. We had it for like MJ. We had it for like LeBron, when LeBron's still around. But like LeBron, he did the series where he was with his uncles, where he was the cool LeBron or whatever the case may be. Are they like, are sneaker companies getting lazy? Because like what I'm starting to notice more is that like you're seeing like every other week you're having like an influencer drop or like a fashion brand pop up with a collaboration, and they're just getting their own colorway and they're just throwing it out there. So for me, it's like I see Travis Scott or I see like Billie Eilish, or for my counterpart over there, Mike, J Balvin.
Not believing.
Not blinking. Yeah, it was. I kept saying his name wrong, and he didn't know who I was talking about. He was like, "You mean Balvin?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
But like, they're still moving they're still moving like units because like everybody's like they're rushing, towards like the brand that is, and you being a brand yourself, you like if you put your name to something, it's gonna move. So, is it like, how do I say this? What am I saying wrong? Like. Is it more
right.
so?
Are people lazy?
Yeah, are they lazy? Like,
literally.
what are we doing? Like, are sneaker brands like just getting superior
comfortable
lazy?
or comfortable? Yeah.
I think they're just giving people what they want. Because I mean, everyone wants a new Travis's. You look at like what's been selling out, and it's just that. Like, but then you look at like the Joe Fresh Goods, the New Balances that came out a couple weeks ago, or the new Soleil's that just came out with New Balance, and they're still sitting.
The purple ones,
like, the purple ones. I really
those are fire.
They're fire. The quality's great. Yeah, they're nice.
Oh,
They're real nice.
Well,
you just throw on a different color in a pair of Travis's, at least the ones, and those sell out. So I think in some ways there might be some laziness in that it's a lot of this. It's a lot of similar stuff, but I mean it's not. Storytelling wise, I think you still got Amamanier doing some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
You got I really like what J Tips is doing a lot.
Yes.
I think it's still there, but it's different now. It's a little bit different the way that they do it. You know what I mean? And their end goal is to make money, these big brands. So it's like whatever they can do in order to increase their profits,
they're gonna do it.
They're gonna do. Yeah.
They're gonna do it.
Yep.
Lazy, and I think part of it is also comfort. Like they're gonna go after exactly like you said, what is gonna help them push to get over profit.
Units.
Yeah. So I think a lot of it is also comfortable. Like they're like, oh, we know if we slap Travis's name on it, it's gonna move. Like, things like that. So I think part of it, yes, lazy, but for me, I think of it more so as just being comfortable.
I'm gonna side with lazy because they're basically saying, in my opinion, they're saying to me that we don't feel like coming up with nothing new. We gonna give you this Jordan 1,
and
we gonna slap. You're gonna take it.
And be happy.
The colorway we're gonna give you, and you gonna sell it.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's how it kind of was with Nigel with the RM4s. It was they gave him the colorway. While they gave him his own colorway, like his mom's fence and the asphalt for his his grandma's fence and his grandmom's asphalt in her backyard driveway and backyard. It was like we knew that's not what he was supposed to do. Right. So when he gets the 4 and it's the brick by brick, and then he comes up with the slogan and it's like it spreads like wildfire. It's like, yeah, you did it. And it's a 4 though. Now at that point, we're kind of tired of like these retros where it's like these retros have a name, not a lot of substance. That had a lot of substance. It had the story behind it, and we gravitated towards it. So for me, I just feel like they're a little bit lazy, but not a little bit. They are lazy, but some stuff just sticks, and there's nothing you can really do about that at that point because that was the whole game plan.
Yeah.
But has there been like a collab, well, not a collab, but a sneak that came out that you felt like this was fresh and like invigorating, even though it was like a recycle?
I mean, it's got to be the Nigels, right? Like, that's the only thing I can think of. So I'm looking back at all the sneaker releases this year, and we've had so much good stuff, like the 85s, probably my sneaker of the year. I love those. Or even the Galaxy Foams, or the new 95s, but that's all just remakes of originals. I think the Brick by Bricks are one of the original colorways that are popping off right now that are also really interesting with storytelling and with... So I think it really has to be the Nigels. I mean, I like the Amamanier 3s that just dropped. I like the... I like some of the New Balance stuff. I like the J-Tip stuff. But really, if you look at like a silhouette that's been out for forever, it'd have to be the Brick by Bricks. Yeah. Personally. I mean, that's what I think.
For me, I would have to say a Lately stuff.
True.
Yeah, I love a Lately down. Love her down.
Yeah.
So I think like her... What'd you say?
I said so do I.
So I think like what she did essentially, that first one got the ball rolling. The mix of the corduroy, the satin, like... It's a shoe that we've seen, but in order to come in and be able to play with materials that aren't as frequently used on a silhouette that we get so often, I think is what kind of upped it. And to also come from a woman, I think adds something to it. Her 6, the Comfort Zoom, her 14s, like you get the storytelling aspect of it because every shoe that she had, there has been some kind of story associated. The Comfort Zoom was, I think, a tie to like her high school. The 14 was in relation to her upbringing with like her grandma and something else. So there's you're getting all of the pieces essentially, the cultural aspect, the storytelling, but also the design part as well. So for me, I'll have to say it lately.
So I feel like because y'all named a lot of like collaborations. I don't feel like being a collaborator or collabs are being killed. I just feel like brands are like outsourcing instead of like building. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you said, like you listed a whole slew of Aleli May's, creations, and it didn't stymie her creativity because a lot of those, especially the ones that, had the fur and the blue and the red.
Yeah, those are fire too, yeah.
Nothing less than awesome, man. My daughter loves those as well. But it kind of, if Jordan Brand was to make her just a specific Jordan, not just slap it on a 1 or slap it on a 4 or slap it on a 5. Like that gives her an opportunity to just actually, build. Like it builds another category for us to actually grow with. Like I would like to see that more versus, hey, Apthcry got a Jordan 4. Well, I would buy it. I love it. But I would rather them see like, hey, we got Apthcry on the roster. He's
let's give him his
own shoe.
Yeah.
You design it because you being a sneaker designer. This is your outlet. Let's go. And then it takes off from there because then I'm looking forward to your next, drop. It's like the Apthcry 1, Apthcry 2, Apthcry 3. We don't have those no more outside of, looking at Anthony Edwards and the 1 and the 2 and the LaMelo Ball and I don't know what number he's on at this point. Might be on the 3rd ball or 3 balls, whatever. At this point, but I'm just looking at it from that standpoint. I'm just trying to see like, can they at some point create more, like give more diversity, give me something new to look at, give this next generation what we had. Everything that came out for us was invigorating. Like you had, the Jordan 17. He was like, oh man, it comes with a suitcase, like that type of stuff.
I was gonna say, for me, it almost feels like they're operating in the model of like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's kind of like what it gives. Like we'll get those kind of like glimpses every now and then with like a ball shoe, like a signature shoe, that kind of thing. But for me, it really just gives this model works. We've seen it work time and time again for X amount of years. We're still number 1. It's not broken. Don't fix it. What's the other one? Don't reinvent the wheel kind of thing. That's literally what it gives me.
That's another slogan I like too. I really like that. What was the first one we said before? Don't matter. We'll figure that out.
It ain't fun when the rabbit got the gun.
Oh yeah. I don't know why that. Even though it's a little fucked up, but it isn't fun.
all right. So just to kind of piggyback on that too, I also think that part of having a collaborator on your team and them like redoing retros and stuff like that, the collaborator has to tell the story. Part of the story is also a piece of nostalgia. So you retroing a Jordan 4, and a Jordan 4 was probably my favorite sneaker. That's part of my story behind me creating the sneaker.
I get that.
Yeah.
So I think that we have to think about that too. It's not just the brand being lazy. It's also a piece of the storyteller's story.
Right.
Right. You with your 11s and me with my 2s.
But we also, so it's like the Jordan 6. Gatorade came out. Mike was wearing them in the Gatorade commercials. But when they made the actual Gatorade Mike, it was a swing and a miss, in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong. The green one was
Not my favorite.
Yeah, the green one was clean.
green one was nice.
The green was clean.
But then they came out with that orange one. And that orange one, y'all know nobody really likes the orange one. And then they came out with the Olympic 6s, and we just was like, why y'all just give me the 7s and leave it alone. Like do me that favor. But then, they again, it's just the 6s. They came out with the Orioles. They kept trying to do that, and it was like, it's not working. Stay with those originals, the original 4 that you had, and you'd been fine. And then, add Gatorade and just leave it there.
Yep.
So stuff like that, I don't think really builds towards the brand. It just seems like at that point is a money grab, in my opinion, and not given. And while it's a boost up for you from that brand because they allow you to create off of their palette, it still doesn't build your identity. That's all I'm saying in that aspect. So that's how I feel. So lately what I've been noticing, or what we've probably all been noticing, is that, athletes are going back to the forefront. So there's story building, behind, these athletes now in their campaigns. So you got, AE coming out with the AE ones, and he's keeping receipts. Then you got LaMelo Ball and the Ninja Turtle coming out with the 4, but he dressed as a turtle, I think it was. You got what's his name? Luka Doncic. He's going to court, because he's always arguing with the refs, but he's not saying nothing in the courtroom. He just puts his foot up on the bench, and everybody's like, nice shoes. Like, forget about the fact that he's doing this. So right now, are we seeing what we're seeing? Like, are we seeing the comeback of the athlete in the storytelling? Are we seeing that? Is that what's happening? Like, are y'all really in agreement that this is what's really occurring? Because now you're really starting to see them try to build around it, not just come up with a theme for a shoe.
Yeah, the having them actually play the part, right? So it's almost like what is it? Can't think of the word. I just had it.
Sleep.
Come back to me. No, I literally just had it and I dead forgot.
Even like, all right, so like Kobe with the Black Mambas and, you know, the Black Mamba name, and they had the snake scale sneakers and, you know what I mean? Well, so even go back. So they're Vanessa Bryant just released all the Kobe's that are releasing in the future. And they have the, what are they? The Air Force Kobe's.
Yeah.
With the pajama pants laces. And that's just a piece of Kobe's story when he tore his ACL, and, you know, you see him, and, you know, so they're going back to, you know, pieces of the athlete that have happened, and they're telling the stories
Going
of
back to the basics. That's what I was saying.
Whoa.
That's literally what was in my mind. Sorry. But yeah, that was what was in my mind. But yeah.
So going back to the basics was.
That was what I was thinking when I said, "Oh my God, I had it and I lost it," and then listening to Mike, I'm like, "Oh my God, going back to the basics." Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Okay,
But
so
that's kind of what it.
So which athlete do you think is doing the best job at, you know, creating his own sneaker identity? Because there's a lot out there. You got Harden, which, you know, he's
I be forgetting
full
about some of
fashion.
these people.
And the fact that he's now matching his shoes up with his car, but he's not doing it like, you know, like Book doing it. He's doing it like, okay, I'm wearing a black and red shoe,
Right.
and my Ferrari's
car
gonna be
is
black and red. And then the next time you see him is the same shoe is green and orange, and that Ferrari is green and orange. So
Tomato.
that's wild. It's James Harden.
Okay, and
That's all I have.
I know who that is.
Go Sports.
Go Sport.
Go Sports.
But no, it's like, unfortunately, I don't want to say for me, because y'all already know, like, me and sports is, but it's just like, there's certain people I tend to forget about having shoes. I think because I don't want to say like they're not at the forefront, or it's just something that I don't pay a lot of attention to. So it's like, I totally forgot James Harden had a shoe. We were talking about it earlier. I totally forgot Zion had a shoe too. So it's like, there's just certain people, to me, just be kind of like flying under the radar. But it's certain people, like, I feel like Anthony Edwards is probably one of the ones. I mention him often because I feel like he's probably the one that's getting the biggest push.
Yeah.
Sabrina, Asia with her stuff coming out.
Yeah.
That's
so I
exciting.
feel like it's
That's
certain
exciting.
people that are getting more of a push and more of a boost and are sitting in front of us a lot more than some of the other people. So I think, yeah, I
Well,
be forgetting.
well, yeah, of course, because like at this point in time, you kind of are like the story line behind them, and then you pair that up with their authenticity. So when you go boo tomato to James Harden because you don't feel like that's
I'm like,
authentic.
yawn, like, no.
How?
I don't, stuff like that to me is, it's kind of corny. Like, to me, that's kind of corny. You're matching your shoes to your car. Woo, do a backflip.
How do you?
It doesn't show much of your personality.
Yeah, it's
I
like,
get you.
okay, cool.
As opposed to like Kevin Durant when he had his producer
Yeah, or like
release that
even
came out where they
AE
did
talking shit. Like, that's who he is.
Yeah.
So to me, that's what, it makes sense. It's like, oh, big talking. Like,
Yeah,
it
okay.
makes sense. And it ties into the shoe, but it's just like, okay, you have a Ferrari. Woo.
So how do you feel?
Shoes now.
I think AE is killing it. I think he's the only one that I can think of that's really actually is Asia's the one that has the, like, it's pink with like the
Yep.
it's kind of
Yeah,
I love
and she has
that.
a white pair coming out too.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
I love that. That shoe is actually like the first basketball shoe outside of AE or Anthony Edwards that I've actually been excited about. Like, Harden's look fine, they look good, and you know the color stories are they're a little weak, but you're right, it is him. It is him. That's what he wants to do. You know, it's his shoe. He can do whatever he wants.
That's wild too,
It's-
because
yeah.
you look at him and you be like, you'll see him out with little baby, and he's, you know, giving them honey buns and
Shoecases,
suitcases full of money
yeah.
and suitcases, and then you go, I don't know what to take from this.
It's him.
Why did you give him honey? Why did you, James? Why did you give him honey buns? If you
Screaming.
can find a way to answer that, I'd definitely appreciate that. Don't even matter at this point. So, question is, like, do you think brands are too addicted to going viral versus actually building with the athlete?
Yes.
So so the legacy that they're building is based off going viral.
I think partially, yeah. I definitely think that's a lot of it, especially when you're trying to like move units. And earlier I was saying that their whole thing is a bottom line. I don't think that's totally it for everybody, but I do think that's the main goal of the company, just to make money at the end of the day. But then there's people within the company who are probably like, yo, I want to create something dope. You know what I mean? And those people are great, and you know, hopefully those people can continue to move on up. But yeah, no, I think it really is a lot for them about virality and marketing and just getting it out there as much as they possibly can.
Yes.
I think virality is the new marketing, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, I completely agree.
So.
I completely agree. Like you look at something that like you look at the huge creators with like 20 million subscribers, people like that. Like that's all these, like everyone wants to work with Mr. Beast. You know, even if it doesn't make sense with your brand, like Mr. Beast is more of like I guess a younger audience skewed sort of creator. But like if you have him on your I don't know, your Walker campaign or something for old people, like he'd still sell some units, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it still moves. So it's
like the equivalency of what a segment on Oprah used to be.
yeah, totally. Yeah.
Or being on Oprah's, what is that, favorites?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or something like that. Yeah.
I wasn't Johnny Carson, but I wasn't old enough.
Oh my.
I ain't even dating myself. I watch a lot of Seinfeld. I thought that was the move.
Fair enough.
You know, I know the show's going. I love it. That's my
But yeah,
shit. So
the viral moment, like you said, a lot of them are trying to put, for them, money is like, at the end of the day, everyone wants to make money. So it's like a point that you made was about like people on the inside wanting to do like, you know, cool projects. A lot of people will tell me, especially like I'm trying to pitch things and they keep sticking a pin in it, or it's like they don't want to hear what I have to say, or like I'm trying to figure out how we could tie this to culture and nobody's listening.
Right.
So you have a lot of moments like that too. If it's not making money, it doesn't make sense, literally.
So would you rather see more lines, or would you rather see like more collabs?
Lines
Like
in
more
terms of what?
signature lines, more athletic lines. Like
Or collabs.
would you rather see a Malik Beasley?
But that's the thing.
That's where we at
it's
this
like,
week.
if it's not and that's if it's not fire, if it's not something that's like top of mind for me, I'm gonna forget.
Right.
So it's like I said, I forgot James Harden had a shoe. I forgot Zion has shoes. Like these are not like people that are kind of like in my forefront. Katie was hot when I was in college, but I still remember that Katie had shoes. So it's like, to me, if it's not something that's like hot or like forefront or being talked about a lot or being pushed, I'm gonna forget.
Okay, so
I don't need 50,000 lines if, you know, if it's not, everyone's not gonna get the same kind of whatever, or it's not gonna, I don't need 50,000 lines.
so
You can give me 5 lines that are fire and I'll be all right.
so it's fire. So it's like you know, athletes can bring hype, and then collaborations can bring a lot of hype. So is there any way that they can like actually combine the two to like stay focused on it, like just to combine the two? Just if you could do both at the same time, like not just collabs and just athletes, but like combine the two to create that type of hype and sustain, is that something that can be done?
I think Kyrie was pretty close, because Kyrie created something that was like, it was supposed to be priced in a way that it was accessible to everybody. And you know, he really, like, one thing we were saying earlier is like people are trying to do things that are for the culture and things that are authentic to them, which I think that's really the way that you create the most sustainable brand or the most sustainable product, because it's like that's the thing that people really resonate with. So I think Kyrie was on a really good path. I think he's still there, but I think he was on a really good path because he was creating not only sneakers that were great for ball, but also sneakers that were affordable for everybody, and the colorways were good and authentic to him too. Like, I really liked a lot what he was doing, and I'm interested to see what I haven't tried any of his new sneakers. Is it Anta?
Anta,
Yeah.
I haven't tried any of his new Antas, but they're dope. Like, they're actually dope. And I think it's like he's one of those people who's really out there doing, you know, he's a polarizing figure. He's not for everybody, but I think that's fine, because at the end of the day, he's going to sell the people he wants, you know, the people who identify with him, who really likes him. You know what I mean? So like, that's the sort of thing that I really like. So I think it's either you need to have maybe a collab with someone who really has that sort of following, who really people can identify with or really feel like they're a part of their movement or whatever, or you need to have like new tech. Like if maybe Harden dropped a new ball shoe that had like the craziest new cushioning setup or whatever, maybe that's some way to get it, you know, some interest. But none of these things are easy. So it's not like, you know, I think for a lot of brands, it's like, okay, we're trying to, like, for example, like with Zion, like Nike signed a deal with him before he was, I think, even in the NBA, or Jordan Brand did before he was even in the NBA. It was like they're taking a gamble, because they're like, you know, if he does pop off, at least we got that line. So that first shoe is kind of like, it's fine.
Yeah.
But it's like they're not going to put the best tech into it, and they're also not, they don't know much about him. He hasn't done anything like Jordan did yet. So it's like, it's hard to, but I mean, I don't know.
But the wild part about that was they dropped his first shoe. Then they dropped the Jordan 1 Low, the Voodoo Child.
I really liked. I really like
Listen,
those. Those were sick. Yeah, those were awesome.
People, like, I'm not saying people slept on it,
Yeah.
but they didn't pay attention to it as much as they should have. Like, when it came out, it went up, obviously,
It's
because of Zion.
underrated.
Yeah.
But then it dropped and was like,
Yeah.
that shoe was very creative. But
Yeah.
see, that ties along ties along with this. At that point, Zion becomes kind of a collaborator on top of a Jordan 1. That's not his shoe. Now,
Yeah.
that Zion 1, it had the Z on the side, and it was just like, we not here for this.
Yeah.
Like, okay, go back and make this one. And
Yeah.
it just took off from there. So I think he kind of like Jordan Brand kind of tried to rebound him off of that. And even then when he did the next Voodoo Child, it was okay, but it wasn't the first.
Yeah.
So that's how.
Yeah, true.
So like,
What's its thunder?
none. Okay, so like every sneakerhead has their favorite like era. Now, I don't care. I don't mean to say sneakerhead, but in this culture, you got your era. So we're gonna do it like this. And Mike, help me if you can. Actually, you're gonna be in this, so you got no choice. So we're gonna do it like this. Everybody's gonna pick an era. So it's 4 eras you can pick from. So you got the 2000s. Sorry, we're gonna start the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010.
So wait,
And with this,
can I just say if we all have the same era, then
Look.
no, you can't. Everybody gonna take it
How?
individual.
On a count of 3. 1.
No. Everybody got to pick one. So
I got mine.
so which one you taking?
I'll say 2000s for me.
Well, now you can't take that. What you gonna take?
That would be mine.
That's messed up. You got to argue it. This is court now.
Court.
Thank you, Luca.
2010s, I guess.
Take 2010. What you got?
So I'm 33. So you guys took my era. So I don't.
All right, I'll take 90s.
Okay, I'll take the 2010s then. I'll take the 2010s.
I take the 80s. I take the beginning of it all. Yeah.
Okay.
What? All right. So we'll go. Mike, you go first. this year.
Jordan.
In the 90s?
Yeah. Jordan.
What about it?
That's
We're
it.
done.
That's it.
We're done.
No, Jordan, Penny, Dion.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. That's all I need to say.
That's it? All right.
Nike basketball.
Damn, they was at the.
Cool. So I'm a wait. I'm gonna let Ashley go.
Damn. Oh, wait a minute.
Follow that because he said Jordan.
Yeah, I'm.
He said Dion. He said Penny. He ain't even. He just named off like crazy signature brands that
Because that's
basically
all he had.
released
That's
it in
all he had to
Capital
say.
LA. But you got what 2010? So you got you got a lot of heat in there too. So
No, I said 2000.
oh, you got 2000.
But like,
oh, you picked 2010.
yeah.
He's 2010. So all right, he might bust your ass. But go ahead.
No, child, I'm scared. Because I wasn't. I wasn't thinking about it in terms of like
Do it the way you need to.
best sneaker era for me, the way I thought about it or how it resonated to me was like 2000s essentially is when I really got into it.
That'll work.
So for me, my first major, like I said, of getting into it was the Jordan 2. Then I remember from there, I had Flint 13s. I had a pair of white 13s.
That's nice.
Huh?
That's nice. White 13. It's good for you.
They were gorgeous too. I'm trying to think like what else. My ice green 10s, like there were specific shoes that I remember around that time frame that really I felt like helped me kind of like get the ball rolling into my collection. Like there's shoes that are being released now. I think it's what like I don't know if it's called like the Total 90 or something 90 by Nike. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I had shoes that look like that around that time frame.
wow. That's
So
awesome.
it's just like for me, I would identify that as like my favorite era or the best era because I feel like that's what really helped me, I guess, like get my eyes open into sneaker culture.
It's like the Dipset era for her, like where they was taking like
Jimmy
like
was always my
patterns and
favorite,
putting
too.
them on Timbs and whatnot.
Yeah, that
Like-
customization, all of
like
that
Vince
kind of
Carter.
stuff.
Honestly, and just to throw something there, I also think the 2000s was I feel like it was the renaissance of the lifestyle sneaker.
Yeah, because you had the baggy jeans, you had baggy clothes era. Like that's coming full circle now. So it's like
Yeah.
you can put yourself. It's like going back in the time machine. You can actually put yourself in a not you can actually see a lot of the stuff just in your head.
It's nostalgia.
So you got the Jordan commercials like Overtime, which it was Mary J. Blige singing. I thought it was Stevie Wonder, but I'm sorry, Stevie. I'm not saying you sing that bad, but I'm just saying.
Don't talk about Mary like that.
You know she can't sing.
Don't talk about Mary like that.
She dance better than she sing.
Don't talk about my legends, okay?
Now, like I got. You want to go next?
No, go for it. Go
Okay.
for it. Yeah.
Well, you're already chatting.
No, it's fine. I hate y'all, okay? Everybody in this room except Nana. You are all right with me. The 80s. The 80s to me, like the 80s was the shit. Now, this is a time frame where hip hop started. It's the birth. It's the blueprint for what you got right now. You have the birth of hip hop. But you got your Adidas, you got Run DMC putting them on, you got the track suits, it's sweatsuit time, T1, I don't remember the full name of it, but the T1 sweatsuits, you got the big Gazelles, you got Nike, starting, coming out, Jordan.
The girls are fighting.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so you got the band shoe. This is when storytelling is now coming to the forefront. You got, Mike, he can't wear the shoe. He's got to pay $5,000 every time he puts it on, or Nike's going to pay that because it ain't coming out of his pocket. Then you got the Air Max 1, the original start of Air Max Day. So you're living in the beginning. You're at the forefront of when when technology started to get better. Mm-hmm. And in that, it started the culture. This is where literally it is born. It is started here. It did not die here. You come, you happen, you exist. And that's how this goes. Because of me, because of the 80s. If I don't take this gamble in the 80s, if we don't bring Mike to Nike, we ain't even having this conversation. Boom. That's how you win this.
So you should let him go first then.
I should have. Now you got to finish off. No. To be honest, I really am interested and really anxious to hear what Seth has to say because he could just set that off entirely. Just by one person. For real.
I don't know.
There's a multitude.
I don't know if I'm able to do that, but I think the nice thing about the 2010s was that there was a lot of choice. Like you had a lot of options, which I'm sure you did have, in the past. But like in the 2010s, you had sort of a couple different eras kind of fading out and some eras coming in. You had like the SBs, you had the foams, you had Nike basketball. All this stuff was still hot in the beginning of the 2010s, fire. But then it was slowly starting to fade out, and then you get into more of like the Yeezys and Kanye and the Ultra Boost. You got some other brands that are kind of coming in too. And then near the end of the 2010s, you had like the New Balances coming in. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
Innovation.
And it's so no matter what you like, now to be fair, with a lot of that, you get a lot of BS. Like a lot of garbage comes through.
You do.
But like, and I feel like in the 80s, I wasn't around for the 80s. I was born in 92, so I missed the 80s. But I will say that in the 80s, I feel like if you were into sneakers, you were either a basketball player or you really cared about sneakers. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where there was a lot of authenticity there, which maybe you didn't have in the 2010s, which it was still there for sure. But like there was just so much, and it was not the birth of social media, but that's when like you really had Instagram kind of pop off. People were posting their fit pics.
Yeah.
Exactly.
2011.
Exactly. Like you had Nike Talk and things like that, but like not everyone was on that. Everyone was on Instagram. You did the right hashtag, everyone would see your fit. You know what I mean? Like it was a whole big thing.
Yeah.
So
and
I
that's
feel
when
like
you would see everybody tag it up for like 50 tags.
oh, exactly. Yo,
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That was like spamming was
For
at its
sure.
height.
sure.
So yeah.
sure.
And people actually saw your post, but it's a conversation for another day.
But my favorite time was honestly because I used to customize sneakers in 2010. So like my favorite time was going on Facebook Marketplace. Actually, buy sell fresh kicks Philly. I would be on there all the time, and I'd be like buying sneakers, and then I'd be painting them and selling them, or putting up a post being like, "Yo, I just customized this pair of Fire Red 5s, like the mystery machines. You should check them out, and I'll do yours like that." Like stuff like that. Just that community. I felt like the community was really tight back then because there was a lot of people in
community.
it. Exactly. Yeah.
I think in the early 90s, it wasn't as prominent as it was because you didn't really get to see it. So the only time you really got to see, a lot of heat for real was if it was on TV. If Will Smith had it on, if Martin had it on, if it was on Step by Step. I just dated myself by saying this TV show Step by Step. Family Matters. Like you would see with Eddie would have on, not with Urkel had on because he wore saddle shoes, which is still beyond me. But you would watch these shows. Full House, definitely Full House. Uncle Joey, he had on some Converse, like the weapons, I believe. So
Seinfeld even. What was
Seinfeld? He was always wearing
the sevens, and
he would always wear sevens. He would wear Nike Force. He would always wear Flights. Any type of Nike tracksuit. That was his thing. And honestly, while that wasn't something I really picked up on because during that time frame I was more into comedy. It was something later on I actually got the chance to be put on to through Wale. Like when he sat there and said, you came out with the mixtape More About Nothing, and now you see why, because he's taking photos and Jerry's got on sneaks, and now he's telling his lifestyle behind sneaks. Like, this is what I do. I've been doing this since then. So he's at the forefront. He's on Mount Rushmore of actual, sneakerheads or people that actually put on for the culture. So I can't say nothing else past like the 90s really only gave you, the only time you could actually see it is if you've seen it on TV. If you was in the house by 6 o'clock, you saw something.
See it, yeah.
So that's it. If you had to pick between, I know this is like a little off the cuff. If you had to pick between one era to wear the shoes in, out of the 4 that we picked, which one would you choose?
And they have to be like new from that era.
They got to be new from that era.
It can't be like a retro from.
Nope. It's got to be from that era. You got it. You wearing it right now, but they made it new. They didn't retro
made it new?
They didn't. They didn't. Sorry, it was still new. It was preserved, and now it's yours.
It's got to be. My favorite shoe of all time is the Jordan 1. So it's got to be the 80s because you get, like you said, you have the Air Max 1s. You have a lot of shoes that work in a lot of different eras. Like, I don't think Jordan 1s, although the popularity might rise and fall, it's the kind of shoe that you could literally wear with anything. You know what I mean? Then again, the 90s, you got the 11s, which you can wear with a suit if you want to, which I guess you could wear the 1s.
I was going to say 90s for me
11s.
because I could just wear my Air Max.
True. Those are clean.
90s.
I really like those. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. 90s.
I'm gonna go 2010 because you got Virgil.
You do, but
You
then
got-
you got retros. He's
I
on
do.
all retros.
But the way he did his lines was he made them his.
well, so hold up. So if you could do collaborations on retros, then I'm gonna say 2010s too.
Oh, see, all right, fine. You can't do that, fine. No, yes, you can. You can do that. So I guess we 2010 people because I'm just saying, like, if you sat up here and said you gonna get an off-white Jordan 1,
Don't do that.
I'm out. I'm gonna tell you right now, leave me here. I'll see y'all when I see you. Leave me right here. This is where I live now. This is solely where I live. Is a sneaker great because of the hype? Like, does it just make it the best shoe possible because it's hyped up? So you got your Travis Scott's, your Aleli May. You got your Amanairs. Did I say it right?
I'm a mini.
I'm in there. I always mess that up, but it's so many Mamanas in there, but I like it. Is it the hype or is it actually like what it brings to the actual table? Because now you're seeing a hyped up shoe, which is, what's the shoe Wale's wearing right now? The what? The GT Futures. Now, I haven't had one on my foot. I haven't come across anybody outside of a celebrity that has had this shoe on. So is it what's the hype looking like? Is that shoe going to be sustainable based on the hype, or is it going to be because of what it actually is?
I mean, I think it depends on the silhouette. Like, you look at the Nike Yeezy 2s, that like it's a good looking shoe.
Yeah.
But it's not like that crazy in terms of like what it is. But because of the moment in history it had, like, remember when the Red Octobers dropped in 2012?
Yeah.
I was literally sitting at breakfast and this dude. Well, I was in college at the time, and I was sitting. I think it was cafeteria or something. And my friend texted me, he was like, "Yo, go on the Nike website. What are you talking about?" Or it was maybe he sent me a tweet or something, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" I clicked it because didn't Kanye had already left. By that point, no one knew if the Red Octobers were going to drop because he had just left Nike, and then they dropped on like a Tuesday out of nowhere, and that was like, I mean, the hype for those was just ridiculous. And then every shoe, like, I was customizing sneakers again at the time, so like every custom I would get would be like, I need a red shoe, an all red shoe, like the all red Roshis were selling out, like everything was just like, even I think there was a KD model, it was a lifestyle model in 2014, I think that dropped, that was all red, and that sold out too.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was like an all red. Roche runs came out with an all red sneaker.
Wild.
It was like all red sneakers. Air Max ones came out with or Air Max 90s came out with an all red sneaker.
Yeah.
SB.
Trying to have their Kanye moment.
Yeah.
SB, but they came over to all red.
Even I had a all red van, high, skate high.
So what happened with that was because Kanye, influencer. Let's not walk from that. He was an influencer. He influenced the culture to wear just red. So he was out here wearing all black with red shoes.
Yep.
Then he was the one to take Jordan. I'm not saying I hate this, and I got to do it. He was the one. Him and Hove was the one putting back on. Like to the front. No, the red ones, bread ones.
Oh yeah.
And this was during the Watch the Throne era, so we can equate that to that. So once all this started happening, it was like, all right, this is what we doing. Like, we locked into this. So anything all red, like Mike said, he had an all red van. I had an all red SB Dunk. I had the Raging Bull 5s. It came in the case. I had, what else was red? That's it. Like anything,
Yeah.
if it was red, it was out. The Balenciagas that you hate so much, all red. Yeah, she hates those shoes.
What is it, the arenas?
Yeah, the arenas. Yeah, she hates those shoes. But that was the culture. So for it to be like, is it great because of the sneak down? The Yeezy 2 was fantastic shoe.
I mean, it was. I mean, I never had one on my feet, but it looked cool.
Yeah.
It looked cool. Like, but it wasn't like the Ultra Boost. Yes, Kanye wore it and hyped it up, but it became so popular because it was such a comfortable shoe at the time.
Well, he had his own colorway at the time. He
had the all whites. He had that jumping picture.
That too, but he was doing the green, black, and the pink.
Oh, he did those on Roshis.
Yeah, Roshis.
Yeah, on the Roshis.
But that was the Yeezy 2. That was the Yeezy 2 model. That was the Yeezy 1 first model. So that was his colorway. So anytime it's just me. Anytime I see that colorway,
that's what you think.
I go right there. Just like if I see a light brown and a red, I go Mars Yard. I drop right into that. Like that's not on purpose. That's obviously by their design. These are the colorways that I'm going to do. So for a long period of time, it was the hype also was influencing a colorway. So you kind of pushed the culture forward a little bit that way with just the colorway. So I don't know what else to say past that, but like at any point in time, was it the materials, was it the story, the collab, or was it the resale? Because a lot of times we find out a shoe is going up in value. We hurry up and rush and buy it because we know it's going up. Not saying that's what I'm doing. I'm saying a lot of hype beasts tend to do that. The material, it's never really been about like I'm gonna just use Gore-Tex for an example. If I knew they made a dunk in Gore-Tex, I might just rush out and get that because they don't really have that, Or if it's the story behind it, Chunky Dunky, like while that's a theme, there's a story behind that. So I'm rushing out to get that. Then you got the collaboration side of it. I'm in theirs. You see them,
and they be kicking your ass.
It do. It be beating the brakes off you. My manier. Sorry, don't hurt me for this one. But when they drop something, and they've been dropping something steadily, like every 3 months or every quarter, something's coming out for them. People are rushing to go get that. So, is it like, what makes that so great? Like, what makes it so great? Out of those four things, what do you think is the most important? I think it's obviously indigenous to you. So for me, it's the story for me. I love stories. And Frank Cook is
cooking.
He out here destroying stuff. And as long as he keep putting stories behind stuff, I'm gonna keep buying it. I don't even care.
I love a good story, but I don't think stories ever really won for me. It's, do I like this shoe enough to want to wear it, and how well is this going to fit into my collection? So for me, I'm kind of at the point now where with my collection, I get rid of a lot of stuff. I will pull stuff off them shelves immediately and kind of just like swap things out because I'm trying to build what I feel is the best cohesive quality collection. And quality, I feel like, varies from person to person. But for me, I feel like I know what a solid collection looks like and what that entails and what I feel will add value to my collection based on shoe. But I think, like I said, for me, it's always like, do I like this enough that I would want to wear it, and how well would this fit into what I already have going on? So like I said, I like a good story, but that's not the reason why I ran out to buy like an Aleali May shoe.
Right.
I'm like, oh, my girl is using corduroy and satin on the same shoe. I need that. Like, it's little things like that. Or like, is it a color that I maybe don't have? Is it on a silhouette I maybe don't have a lot of, or something like that? So those are things that I kind of like pay more attention to before it comes down to, oh, I like the story of this, or, But I think also with me using Aleali May as an example, I think because I just like her, that's why I'm like, oh, that's my girl. I gotta, I literally told her when I met her, I was like, I'm collecting your shoes like infinity stones. Like, for me, that's a solid pack, or like things to have in my rotation. So it's like, nobody could ever say like, oh, this is not complete. No. That's a pack that's complete, baby. I got those, okay? I got my stones.
That's complete.
I got my stones.
She out here
so, little things like that. Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact. But yeah, so I think it really varies just like person to person for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think the storytelling is nice, but it's not as important for me. I think it really is like, am I interested in it? Like, is it and that could be anything. It could be, someone I'm collecting, or maybe it's a colorway, it's a material, something like that. But it really is like, I mean, I'm trying to think. For example, like a lot of the reason I really got into Salehi originally is because he was doing stuff that was different, and I was just interested.
Very out of the box.
Yeah. And it's like I wasn't even really into New Balances at the time, but like some of the materials were nice, the colors were nice, and then even when he went to Crocs, like I wasn't rocking Crocs, but like even those Crocs, just the fingerprint, like the texture, everything, it was interesting. And obviously it's kind of like a trend too. So it's like I clear stuff out of my collection all the time too. So I'll move stuff out. But like I grab something because I'm interested in it, and whether it's hype or not, I've been a hype beast. I think we've all been hype beasts at times.
At some point, yeah.
100%.
But now I'm just like, I've got too many sneakers. I really just want to have stuff that I want to wear, and it's nice having a lot of options, because then you're able to be like, okay, I haven't rocked this pair of whatever recently, and it's kind of weird and it's kind of out there, but it's kind of a dope thing to throw on today with whatever I'm rocking. So it's like, it really is just a shoe, and it could be anything. It really is just if the shoe is interesting to me, and it's normally not so much because of the story, although I do like a good story. It really is because like the colors, the materials.
It doesn't speak to you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I look at it. Like, it has to speak to me. Like, I have to feel something when I look at that shoe.
Exactly.
Like, whether that's excitement or like, oh my God, like I really need this. Like, or I have the perfect outfit in mind for these. Like, for example, one of my favorite pairs is like the Air Max ISPA. I think it's like 720.
Yeah.
That shoe is so weird looking. And when they first came out, I said, oh my God, I love like shoes that are a little like quirky and weird. So for me, I was like, oh my God, I need this. And people were like, it's weird. Why would you, it's triggering my trypophobia, like all of that kind of stuff. And I'm like, y'all just wait. I bought those shoes, wore them, and anytime I wear them, I always get compliments on those shoes. Always. So I feel like it's literally just something that has to speak to you. Like, I need to feel something when I look at this.
So, all right. So is there a like a crossover? So there's a situation where like sometimes the quality and the design just meet. So like basically what I'm saying is there a, I don't want to say collaboration because I'm getting tired of using that word, but is there a shoe where it's like the hype meets the substance, like it just comes together, boom, and it is nothing you can do about it? So an example would be for me, Sean Witherspoon.
Oh my God, that was a
$197.
that was a time.
Yeah. Like
that was a time.
Yeah.
Right there.
That was a time.
I don't even think I got to give you another example, but if I had to, and this is going to be simple, Kobe Grinches, Kobe Sixes. That was one where it was like, the athlete and the design technology meets, and it's something totally different. When the Grinches came out, you seen them on Christmas, and everybody was. As a matter of fact, the whole Lakers had them on playing LeBron, I believe, and LeBron had his what was it, sevens on, his red sevens. Even though it was a dope shoe, it just failed to that one. So is there any of them, like, do you have an idea of, like, not an idea, but do you have one where it was like it met the standard? For me, it would definitely be the Witherspoon.
Like, that was a moment.
Yeah, it was.
That day, I was in frenzy trying to figure out where to get them from. People I know were scrambling.
Yep. I was in New York. I was living in New York at the time, and we were chasing around. There was the truck, I think, that was driving around, and then there was also like at all the different stores, like Kip and everybody, and everyone's like, "Yo, you
opening ceremony, I think, too, or something."
Yep. It was, and so I was just going all over the city. It was either right. No, it was 2017, so I wasn't fired at that point. Yeah, so I still had a job. I think it was a Saturday though, right? Or maybe something like that. But I was around.
It was close to the end of the week.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was speaking to people that were working in corporate, and they're like, "I have to call you back. I'm trying to track the shoes down." And I'm like, I can't. They like, "Baby, I gotta call you back."
Yeah.
I have to call you back.
I just bought resale. I just said, fuck it.
Resale never went down. I thought it was going to drop. The lowest I ever saw it was 600 in my
That's
size.
exactly where I got it at. I was like, it's
what?
happening, bro.
Yep.
I ain't even care.
Look, it sound crazy. I'm like, 600? That's
it.
not bad.
See what I mean?
That's not bad.
I thought like that. Like,
That's not bad.
This resale about to get out of pocket, because like at my size is 10 and a half.
Oh, you got a common
11
size.
is 600.
How you think I feel?
But then as soon as you hit like 10,
they fit big too. So
11,
you have to go down a little bit.
Yep. So now I got my 10 and a half. And they fit perfectly.
Fit good? Okay, cool.
So you get to that 11. That 11 was like 300-400 more. I was like, whoo, I'm gonna fit my big ass foot in this little ass shoe. I'll take the inserts out, whatever I got to do to get in this shoe. Is happening.
It's happening.
It's happening. I think like when you see like innovation, you tend to you tend to appreciate it a bit more, particularly when it's like of good quality. Like you made a shoe of good quality, which is the slide that's up here on display, and how I ain't gonna hold you. That looks comfortable. I'm definitely putting my foot in it.
Try it on for sure. For sure.
So, like, what went into? What was your thought process when you were making that? Because it was with go ahead, Mike. It was what's the name of the thing? Because I'm losing it.
The same company that they did the 3D print for
3D
the Air
print
Max
for the
1000.
Air Max
Yeah. Zellerfeld.
Yeah.
Yep. They're doing a lot of really cool stuff. They just dropped a shoe with Jeff Staple, which is sick. They've got some cool stuff in the pipeline. I'd been doing a lot of 3D printing, like on my YouTube channel. I went to college for industrial design, so 3D printing was always something that we used in prototyping. Because I worked for a couple different places. I worked for a kitchenware company for a while. And we 3D print like mock-ups of whatever it was that we were making, spatulas or whatever. And then I worked for a dog toy company. That's where I got fired from. We were 3D printing dog toys. And then, so I was really familiar with it and I really liked it. And so I started doing a series on 3D printing shoes. And Zellerfeld, I bought a pair from them because they seemed like the preeminent. Like they had just done the shoe for Kanye with like the big boot, like for Fashion Week or whatever.
The big boot.
Yeah, it was this big, like it was weird. It didn't even look 3D printed. It was this giant, like big black boot. And then they had done, and then they had done one with Herman Preston, which is the only one available for sale. So that's the one I bought, and it was dope. Like it was mad comfy. It was way better than I thought because I had 3D printed shoes for a couple of years and it was all garbage. So eventually I was doing a couple of reviews for them. They reached out and we started talking and then they're like, we'd like to do a shoe with you. And I was like, sick. But then I dragged my feet for like 2 or 3 years. And so, so it took a minute. And then we're finally dropping in May. But that's it right up there. It's more of like a mule than a sneaker, but it's because everyone's done so many sneakers before.
Love a mule.
You know? Yeah, exactly.
My
And plus,
speed.
like,
Clock posit speed.
Clock posit speed.
All right, ankles.
but like it's
happening.
crazy comfy. Like it feels
looks
like
like
foam.
it does. It looks
It's
like
like it's like you wouldn't believe it. Like it's you can. I mean, if you want to pull. I mean, the bottoms. To be fair, I have been wearing it, so maybe don't touch the bottoms. But the top, super. I mean, the top and the footbed.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it doesn't make sense how soft it is. It feels like foam.
Oh,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like
When
whatever
these drop,
material they're using.
I'm definitely doing a review on these joints.
Let's go.
100%. Because
They're crazy soft, man.
Your reviews be like top notch. Like,
appreciate it.
but speaking, because they are, I ain't gonna hold you. Like that, like outside of her making me do my my stuff, because she's like, you better get in, and I better, and she makes me do it. So I came out with a list, but that's a whole nother story.
She
But
makes me do it. Sounds really abusive, but
because you know how she talked to me, she's like, he better do it, and then I'm like,
Not even. I just be very direct with it.
Look at me, America. When she talks, it's voluntold.
It's very direct.
It's voluntold. It's not like, oh, well, you
as it should be.
But she talks to me, the way she talks to me, I'm like, all right. Mike be like, no, but she talking. I know what she talking. I'm just gonna get it done. And you know
I
what?
have to ask about it again.
If she got to ask about it again, it's gonna be a problem. And I don't want no smoke. But like for you as a reviewer, are there any like reviewers that you actually watch yourself as just a fan?
I mean, I pretty much watched all of them. I don't watch them as much anymore just because I don't want to like make my review just like everybody else's.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like, but I was a fan of everybody because I started sort of like there was a couple of different waves. You had the first wave was like Franelations and like like all these really great people, like even Nightwing I think was part of that. And then you had like the second wave, which was sort of like Tony and Bull and like Kais and everybody. And then I was sort of like that third. Like I started videos in 2016, and so that's sort of when I came in, and I was watching people like Tony and Bull and like everybody. Oh, you're trying
Yeah, I'm like, what is it doing?
they're size 10 too, so they might actually not be too bad because the sample size.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
They're mad comfy.
I almost said something totally different. God damn. All right. Yeah, just go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Woo. Hey, yo, real shit. My foot feeling good as fuck right now.
It's crazy. No, genuine. And like, I wish we could take credit for the 3D print. We can't. But
Oh,
like,
I
they're mad
literally see him
comfy.
sliding his shoe. I'm like, what is he doing?
Because I'm like looking, I'm like, I can get this on. Because if he zoom in, y'all see me. Go ahead.
They're like for real. Like the reason we worked with Zellerfeld in particular is because like I've been wearing Zellerfeld shoes for like years and they just don't break apart and they're mad comfy. And the thing was with the Nike 1000, as cool as of a shoe as that is, it's like one of my favorite releases of last year. The air bubble is like the stiffest part of the entire shoe. So the shoe is like super soft and comfy, but then you stand on the air bubble and it feels like an air bubble. So you got like really soft foam or whatever, 3D printed filament of some kind. And then you get the stiffness, and you're like, dang! But that is just all soft.
Is that mesh on top, or I'm looking at it?
It's 3D printed mesh.
It's 3D printed.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
It feels like foam. Yeah.
The crazy part is this is PR at its finest. I actually got the socks on.
Oh yeah,
that I'm supposed to have
we
with
definitely
it.
do.
Why he say it like
I brought
that?
you guys some socks.
Oh my
'cause
God, we love gifts.
Yeah. So you guys can pick whichever ones you want. We got the upcoming Heat Map collection, which is based off of Heat
I'm
Map
excited.
shirt, and then we got 2 Valentine's Day socks because I didn't have any other socks to bring. So
Wow, thank
that's
you.
fine.
We love
That's all about. That's all about love.
Thank you.
That's all about
I should have ordered some socks, but yo, just bring my order when you come.
Imagine.
Oh, I'm looking
I
good
literally
right now.
came from the office too. I was like, it would have been perfect time.
So, phew, I'm dead ass serious. My foot feels.
Not you going to keep
good.
the man's shoes.
I ain't gonna keep the shoes.
You want the other one?
No, I'm good. I'm good because I'm trying to
Set 'em
compare.
if you want.
Because when I walk, this is gonna be the walking gonna be crazy.
And that's the thing
You can
too.
if you need to try. Yeah.
Light.
Yeah.
They're
Exactly.
super
Yep.
light.
Yep.
Like I have some shoes that feel like maybe not only your legs gonna get a workout, but if you pop somebody with that shoe, you're gonna hurt them a little
Yeah.
bit.
So, speaking of socks and hurt them a little bit, like what's one thing? Because you like, I hate to say it this way, but you're known for your socks. Like, don't get me wrong, like your apparel is dynamite.
Oh,
I ain't gonna hold you.
thank you.
But like your socks, I gravitate towards them. They're comfortable. Like, what's one thing like that's like that people should know? Like the difficulty in creating like socks.
Especially for our community.
Right.
Sneaker community.
Yeah.
I definitely went black, but that's a problem. I did. I was like, the black community, he makes them for us? Man, you all right.
Yo.
This for us, for me?
There's a couple. So I think pretty much anyone can make socks. It's more of a matter of creating like a really good sock. You know what I mean? So like we sampled and we tested a bunch of different things for years, and we're finally on a sock that we feel like is like the best sock out there. Super soft, super comfortable, fits great. But especially with the sneaker community, there's so many new sneakers coming out all the time. It's hard to come out with designs that are consistently fresh, but also kind of line up with sneaker releases. So that's something we're working on more now. But we're also like, we don't want to confine ourselves just to sneakerheads, but obviously
Right.
that's sort of our bread and butter. Because me and my co-founder Osman are both huge sneakerheads. Like his SB collection was ridiculous until he eventually sold it, but it was like ridiculous. And I also give him credit for like being the person who reignited my sneaker interest, which is frustrating because he loves to take credit for that. But we're both huge sneakerheads, so like creating designs that kind of like fit with sneakers and things like that is just something that it's a consistent, like we're doing a drop every 2 weeks. So we hired a full-time graphic designer and she's amazing. And we just kind of are just always trying to pump out new work. So that's probably the hardest part because it's a constant grind.
So
sure.
when you started, like what was the, I don't want to say it this way, it sounds so cliche. What was that sock that you was like, yeah, this is it. This is me. I'm doing this. This is it. Like, we good. There's nothing that's gonna get better than this. I got this.
Well, so I feel so we're on the sock 3.0 right now. So for the first 2 or 3 years, like every iteration felt like that. At one point, like the first one, we did make changes to it. It wasn't just an off-the-shelf sock. Then the second one, we're like, okay, well, there's certain things about the first one, like maybe it pilled too much, or maybe it wasn't thick in certain parts. And then the third one, we actually added iso weave, which is the little triangles. You can't really see them on this one, but little triangles on the toe. Yeah, you can see them on that. Little triangles on the foot.
Get it off the
And that one's interesting. So this is from Earth Day last year. This one's actually made up of recycled bottles. So it feels a little bit different than regular
lit.
socks.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm winning.
Yeah, right?
Wow, and sustainable.
And it's exactly.
saving the turtles and
Exactly.
yeah, look at you.
Saving turtles and dolphins.
That's what's up.
Wow.
5.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
Yo,
go.
please.
You all right with me, man? We gonna party one of these. So, damn, I didn't even know it was made out of recycled plastic. I looked and was like, oh, I'm buying this. Like I just clicked, bought it, put it in the thing. I got this is my problem.
go.
I don't look at. I
Oh,
read.
you gotta read.
It's too much. Like I know you're collabing with what's the name again, Mikey?
Oh,
Zellerfeld.
Zellerfeld.
Zellerfeld, yeah.
You're collaborating with Zellerfeld to create this. But if you had not to knock on them because we're not doing that because keep doing it. If before you got with them, if was there a certain company, a certain brand you would be like, I'm collaborating with them the minute they ask me?
I don't think there was. I mean, we've reached out to brands in the past. Like, I'll be honest. I reached out to New Balance, and for a while they're like, oh, maybe, and then they're like, nah. I reached out to Mizuno, and they were interested for a bit, and then they're kind of like, nah. And this was all sort of while we were working on this too. So I mean, there's no brand in particular that I would be. I mean, there are brands that I'd probably be like if Nike reached out, like of course, but like that's just a whole different. It's a whole different stratosphere, and I think not okay. I'm kind of talking myself the whole year. I'd be happy with any brand. I'd be happy with any brand.
Right.
And I think the cool thing about Zellerfeld is one, because it's a new technology. It's something that I'm like, it's authentic to me because I always loved 3D printing. It's something I was doing videos of. And so that made a lot of sense. And they can do stuff that no other brand can do with traditional materials, which is mad cool. But I mean, I'm not going to like, you know, I love the approach that someone like Salehi's taking, where he's collaborating with Crocs on one thing that's completely different than his collaboration with New Balance or his collaboration with Vans, or, you know, whatever the case would be. So I'm open to anyone, and I think each brand has their own authenticity, their own like story and their own history that I think we could really tie into nicely. And it just, you know, a pair of Asics collab that we did would be different than a New Balance collab or a Jordan collab. You know what I mean? So there's really, it gives you different opportunities with each brand, and I'd be happy with any of them. You know what I mean? Like that'd be. Yeah.
So last question. This is a rapid fire, Jones. So if you had a choice, now you can do one or as many as the question asks. If you had to wear, you have to choose a shoe that you would get married in, buried in, and chilling. It could be one or it could be three different ones.
Okay, so I mean, the Jordan 1's my favorite shoe of all time, and I know it's not the most comfortable shoe, but I've worn it for years and years and years with no issues. So Jordan 1 probably. I got to say the Zellerfelds now because that's an original shoe, so that's up there too.
It's yours.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what you'd get married in, or you chilling in?
That's a chill shoe.
So it's
Definitely a chill shoe. Yeah.
The Jordan 1's more of like I guess compared to I'm trying to think of what the third shoe would be. Because my third shoe would probably be less dressy than the Jordan 1's not dressy, but like you just throw a long pair of pants on, you get a good colorway.
Yeah.
You know.
You can make it work.
I really like the threes. But I also that's tough. That's really tough. I want a pair of shoes to like, you know, if I need to exercise or go on a trip or like something that was more of like an athletic shoe. I guess a New Balance of some kind, like a 990.
I love how this question scrambles everybody.
Yeah.
You don't think it's going to do it when I ask you. You be like, all right, cool. Oh, shit, so I'm married. I get to die in one, and then I get to chill in it all the time. All right, well, it's definitely going to be my shoe, so that's chill.
Yeah.
Die? Like, they can't rotate my shoes every 6 months? Like,
Imagine. Oh, my gosh. Imagine, please.
I'm just saying, I look at it like that.
Please.
Hey, you might as well not even bury me, dog. Just put my casket right where you can open it up, slide my feet out, switch them out.
Eventually
keep it
the
pushing.
feet would come with the shoes
It'd be
after
like-
a couple of years. They just pop right up.
It'd be the equivalent of an eternal flame. We got to eternally change these shoes. Like, it's some dude just coming every 6 months, change the old shoes. Change my socks, too.
Or make an urn and just make them out of like a mold of my feet. And
Yep, and just constantly put.
And put different
That might be
shoes on.
different shoes on.
That might be it.
Yeah.
That's the.
We gotta talk to Zellerfeld about a 3D printer.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, ooh, can you make an urn out of feet and then and change them out?
They're going to be like, maybe.
I like where you're going, but it's a little
A
sadistic.
little grim,
Right.
but it's something to do. And hey, like I said,
Please.
well, that concludes our episode of the Soul Table. Uncle Mike, you got something for us?
Oh yeah. Converse and converse. It's the only words spelled the same with two different meanings and two different pronunciations.
All right.
Little Snapple fact for you.
Let's go.
All right. I'm sorry you had to sit through that, man. I'm sorry.
He's too stunned to speak.
From our table to your table,
Think of another one. I'm just.
Seth Fowler, we are
Thank
the Soul
you.
Table.